told your friend you're not okay.
Today, the K-pop world was once again shaken by a small moment that somehow managed to take over the entire internet. No CGI effects, no grand stage, no powerful choreography. Just two men we've known for years, sitting in a Japanese television studio, yet they created a warmth that made millions of ARMYs smile all day long. Behind the bright screen and seemingly simple backdrop, lurked sweet surprises that became the subject of global conversation. And as always, K-pop news is here to take you inside every moment. Deeper than just highlights, closer than just snippets. It all started in the bright studio of the Japanese program, Source Snowman and I Yerasi Kudasai, a 3-hour special that brought V and Jungkook together in a relaxed yet laughter-filled atmosphere. The first moment that thrilled the entire fandom came when the host brought in a table full of gifts. No one expected that one of the simplest gifts, a black neck pillow, would elicit the most adorable reaction from Taehyung. As soon as V saw the pillow, his expression instantly seemed to be transported to another dimension. His big eyes widened like a child who had just found his favorite toy. Without hesitation, he grabbed the pillow with both hands, holding it aloft as if it were a trophy or a luxurious prize from an award ceremony. His smile? Pure, warm. The kind of smile that could recharge anyone who saw it. His dimples were deeply visible, his eyes twinkled, and his aura overflowed with genuine happiness. As if that wasn't adorable enough, V began playing with the pillow. He pretended the neck pillow was headphones, holding them up to his ears and chuckling. His movements were so spontaneous and innocent that the hosts, the camera crew, and even the backstage operators were all smiling. Taehyung truly proved one thing that day, that he could make even the smallest studio feel like his own personal playroom filled with laughter. And right next to him, Jungkook sat with sparkling eyes, watching his Hyung's antics with the warm gaze of a little brother proud to see his older sibling happy. He smiled occasionally, then chuckled as V lifted the pillow higher than his head, as if to show the world he'd found a treasure. But the fun didn't stop there, because it was Jungkook's turn to choose the next gift. And who would have thought? That simple moment would become one of the funniest scenes of the entire show. In front of Jungkook were two choices, an elegant-looking table lamp and a pair of soft house slippers. Seems easy, right? But not for a man who always thinks things through carefully. Jungkook stared at the lamp, then at the slippers. Then he moved forward. He stepped back. He gently touched the lamp, pulled his hand back as if he'd just done something forbidden, then picked up the slippers and stopped his movement again. The host laughed. The audience laughed. V laughed the loudest, enjoying every second of his brother's hesitation. Jungkook even covered his mouth in embarrassment, laughing at his own confusion. The hesitation lasted long enough for everyone in the studio to hold their breath before Jungkook finally made his decision. He chose the slippers. BTS's Golden Magne, the man who can deliver stunning high notes, who can execute the most complex choreography in a single glance, who can break global records with just one song release, chose a pair of fluffy house slippers. Of course, ARMY immediately fell in love with the moment. But the show wasn't finished with the surprises. The hosts brought a special gift for V and Jungkook, a pink instant camera that could print photos instantly. The instructions were simple: take a selfie together. Without hesitation, without needing any direction, V and Jungkook approached each other. V raised his hand under his chin, his classic, soft and elegant pose, while Jungkook held up a peace sign with a bunny smile that made ARMYs worldwide melt. The photo was printed, but as soon as it left the camera, one of the hosts snatched it and kept it for himself. The studio erupted in laughter, and V and Jungkook couldn't help but laugh along at the blatant stealing of their photo. But that wasn't the peak of virality. The highlight came when the hosts called them by two new nicknames that have now taken over the entire X timeline, TikTok, and YouTube: Tete for V and Gugu for Jungkook. And that's precisely where the moment's true power lies. A continuation that seems simple on the surface, yet quietly leaves reverberations far longer than a few minutes on Japanese television. After the laughter subsided and the studio calmed down a bit, the energy left by V and Jungkook didn't dissipate. There was something lingering in the air, something hard to describe, but easy to feel. It was as if the entire room had just witnessed not just the interaction of two idols, but a small snapshot of a relationship that had been built over years. Without the need for big words, without the need for dramatic gestures, they conveyed a comfort that can only come from genuine closeness. V still held his neck pillow occasionally, playing with it in small ways that never lost their charm. Even as the camera's attention shifted to other segments, he continued to visibly savor the simple object, as if it weren't just a gift, but a small symbol of the spontaneous happiness he'd felt that day. Jungkook, beside him, glanced over occasionally, smiling again, as if never truly finished admiring how easily his Hyung found happiness in the little things. And behind the scenes, something bigger began to happen. Clips from the show began to circulate more widely. Not just the Tete and Gugu scene, not just the pillow or slipper moment, but their entire dynamic. The way they sat so close together without awkwardness, the way they looked at each other with such warm expressions, the way their laughter flowed seamlessly. Fans began to piece it all together into a larger story. Some ARMY began to say that this moment felt like a reminder of the early days, when everything felt simpler, when happiness didn't come from grand accomplishments, but from small, honest interactions. And without realizing it, V and Jungkook had just brought back that feeling, not just for themselves, but for the millions watching. Interestingly, the more people talked about this moment, the more one thing became clear. Not a single scene felt contrived. Even the scene where Jungkook hesitated to choose a gift, which in any other show might have been cut or shortened, was left intact. And that's why the moment felt real, relatable, human. The same goes for the incident of the photo taken by the host. In hindsight, it was just a small joke. But V and Jungkook's reactions, they didn't protest, didn't try to take it back, just laughed and let it happen, showed a side of them that was relaxed, unstrained, and truly enjoying the carefree atmosphere. And, of course, the nicknames Tete and Gugu didn't stop there as a fleeting trend. As the night went on, more and more fans began using them in various ways, from fan art to captions to video edits that recreated old moments with the two names added. It was as if the nicknames weren't just new nicknames, but a new way of viewing their relationship, lighter, closer, more filled with warmth. Some even said that Tete and Gugu felt like the simplest version of them. Not V the global artist, not Jungkook the superstar, but Taehyung and Jungkook. Two people who laughed at the smallest things, who looked at each other comfortably, who didn't need to try hard to be attractive because their authenticity was enough. And if we go back to the beginning, to the moment when V first held that neck pillow aloft with a wide smile, that's probably where it all began. A small reaction that set off a chain of events, ultimately creating a whole story that was unplanned, but felt perfect. Because sometimes, what makes a moment great isn't its scale, but its honesty. And that day, in a Japanese television studio, V and Jungkook gave us something more valuable than mere entertainment. They gave us a small slice of their most authentic selves, unfiltered, unpolished, unmanaged. A moment that may have seemed simple, but one that will live on forever. And now, after all that has passed, the only thing that remains is a warm, inexplicable feeling. A feeling that makes anyone who watches it want to replay the video again and again. Not because they missed something, but because they want to experience that joy all over again. See you in the next video.